Good news, my friends. Just because you've been rejected on a previous visa interview doesn't mean you can't get it the next time. We have an amazing story today of someone who got rejected on a tourist visa, but then was still able to get an approval for the F1 student visa. If you're planning to study abroad or need a visa for work, this video is going to really help you guys out. Hey friends, welcome to Chine Coaching. Rob here. And at Chine Coaching, we love helping guide international students and professionals to success on their cross-cultural journeys. And one of those big things that's really important is the visa interviews. And so Sravya has an awesome story, some lessons learned to give you guys, even tips to prepare for visa interviews of failures, but also success that she's had. Sravya, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Rob. Thank you so much for having me here today. So, guys, my name is Sravya. I'm from India. I'm currently pursuing my master's in business analytics at the University of Texas at Dallas.
Great. And Sravya, I really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to help share your story to help other people. So tell us first about your experience. You were applying for a B1 tourist visa a few years back. Tell us why you were wanting to travel and what happened.
Well, it was back in 2018 when I first thought of coming to United States. So it was for my sister's graduation ceremony. We applied a family or a group visa. So all the three of us, my parents and me, all of us were interviewed at the same time. So I got my interview done in Hyderabad consulate in September 2018. It was just like a very short interview. It just took place for around 5 minutes. Most of the time, my parents were interviewed, and it was only during the end that I was asked 2 to 3 questions. One, they just asked me what was the relation to me and the person I'm visiting. I just replied saying she was my sister and I'm planning to attend her graduation ceremony. The next question was what I was currently doing. Then I replied that I was doing my bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering. So then they shifted all their questions towards my parents. It was in the very end that I realized they gave me a white slip and my passport back. It was then I realized that my visa got rejected and my parents got their visa approved. At that point of time, I really don't know what is the exact reason that they didn't approve my visa because I wasn't asked many questions also. I was like depressed for a few days because I was not able to attend my sister's graduation ceremony. But later I realized that it happens that they reject people.
So Shravi, that is crazy. They approved your parents to go for your sister's graduation, but not you. So this family got split. I'm sure that must have been super hard.
Yeah, it was super hard for me because my parents have decided not to go to the graduation ceremony because I wasn't going with them. It was a time only just my father went to attend the ceremony so that my mother would stay with me back in India.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That must have been super hard and having to watch it
Yeah.
virtually from the other side of the world. Man, I hate that that happens. But tell people about the refusal, the slip, and what kind of information you got when you got rejected.
So I just received a 214B form. It was a white slip. It was clearly written that I can be a potential immigrant to the United States. But from the questions they asked me, I didn't realize how they understood that I can be a potential immigrant because at that point of time, I had no thoughts of going to United States or no thoughts of staying back in United States. I just applied for a tourist visa just for a 15-day visit. So, yeah.
So they thought the risk was that you were going to try and immigrate there on this tourist visa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least they gave a reason. Most people that get the 214B rejection don't get any reason at all. So it's glad they gave some explanation. And I've learned that it's really important to, when you use your wording, you don't want to let the immigration officers think that you're wanting to stay in America for a long time. So even though you didn't try to do that, maybe they felt that somehow. And I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize like how did they get to know about that. Even in the form, it's clearly mentioned that we give the form to all those people whom we feel are potential immigrants and who stay back in US. So, but the thing I didn't realize is how did I portray that to them?
Hmm.
Because they already gave a visa approval to my parents and they didn't give it to me.
Yeah, that does not make sense, and that's just the craziness of how visa interviews go. But
Yeah.
now let's fast forward a couple of years. You
Mm.
went now are wanting to do your own master's. You're just finished your first semester here. So talk about your F1 visa experience, how that was different, and what your F1 visa experience was like compared to your B1 tourist visa.
It was in 2019 when I first decided to do my master's. I've applied to a couple of universities and finally I've got an admit from the University of Texas at Dallas for the branch business analytics. It was in the mid of 2020. First, initially I've applied for August, which is fall 2020. It was then I realized that there may be a chance of me getting my F1 student visa also getting rejected because I already have a previous rejection history. I wasn't sure on how to go about preparing for the interview because there are so many people who told me, like, just don't prepare, just be spontaneous. But I was like, I need to spend some time, like, with all the questions that might come up in the interview because I had a completely different scenario compared to many others. I have deferred my admit from August, that is fall 20 to spring 21 because of the corona. At that time, it was really hard for me to get a slot in a consulate in India. I have struggled a lot for like 3 months and finally I've got a slot in December 2020. So it was on December 17th where I had my F1 student visa interview done in Mumbai. I was very nervous because I know that today I'm going to be grilled over several questions for which I don't even have answers. So I was pretty nervous when I was standing in front of the VO. So with the first greeting, I felt the conversation was really casual. So all my nervousness was down by that time. So the first question she asked me was which university I was going to. I replied University of Texas at Dallas. Then she asked me why I was going to just University of Texas at Dallas. Why not the other universities? I just told her about the good curriculum it has, the flexible course structure, and all the different courses it has. Then she asked me to pass over my I-20, and my I-20 had a CIP code of 52 something, which states management and quantitative methods. She asked me, you were saying business analytics, but your I-20 says a different name. Then I replied her saying, okay, business analytics has a CIP code of 52. So this is the name of the course according to the CIP rules. Later, she asked me about my bachelor's and my background. I told her I've done my bachelor's in electrical. So her immediate question was, okay, you're completely shifting to a new field. Why not electrical? It has like great new opportunities out there. So my reply was pretty straightforward. I just told we have a lot of business back in India and I want to start one on my own. But coming from a technical background, I have very little exposure in the field of business. So I told her that I want to develop my business skills and I wanted to simultaneously develop my technical skills. And that is the main reason why I have taken up business analytics. She
That's a great
seemed to
answer.
be yeah, she seemed to be pretty convinced with that. I thought she would at least reply something, but she was seriously typing in her computer. Then she went inside for like 20 seconds. She came back and she asked me about all the general questions about funds. Just replied her with a scholarship that I have my scholarship and I've showed her the scholarship letter. I don't know, out of nowhere, she started asking, maybe she has seen in my DS 160 that I have a B1 rejection. She just asked me, do you have any relatives back in US, any close relatives? I told my sister is staying there, and that was a point of time where my heart started pumping out like really heavily because I thought this is a time, I think this can be a trigger point for her to reject my visa. But she asked me completely about my sister. Like she asked about her job role, where she was staying, and about her visa status. So I've replied to all of it. So the very last question she asked me was, "What are your plans after masters?" I answered her the same way I answered in the beginning, saying I have a lot of interest in business, so I wanted to start one on my own. But before that, I wanted to help my father in his own business. For that, I need some experience, so I have taken business analytics. So immediately, she had given me a approval slip. I was really happy, and she told that my visa was approved.
Woo,
So
congratulations.
thank you, and I'm here today, finally.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and that was like hell of a ride for me. Like one the 2 years from my first B1 visa rejection till I got my F1 visa approval, I was in a lot of tension because I thought maybe I would never come to United States and all. But I'm happy that I'm finally here and I'm pursuing my masters.
It's worth the journey and you did the hard work. So congrats. Shravi, did you notice any differences in your experience between the US consulate in Hyderabad for your tourist versus Mumbai where you did your student visa?
uh, Frankly speaking, there was no difference at all because all the procedure was pretty much the same. Initially, they do the checking. The I felt the area was also very similar. The both the buildings were also pretty similar. So there is no any specific like difference that I have noticed in both the consulates.
Friends, our chai question for this video is what kind of visa are you applying for? What kind of visa are you preparing to get? Tell us in the comments. Shravi has done both, tried to get a tourist visa, which didn't go well, but she was successful in getting her student visa. Tell us in the comment which kind of visa you guys are going for. Is it tourist? Is it student? Is it work? Is it spouse? Let us know. And then lastly, Shravya, let's wrap up with some tips. What tips do you have or any lessons learned from your experiences that you can help guide people with who are preparing for their visa interview?
Before attending my F1 visa, I've gone through like lot of experiences, and I have taken tips from many people. The first tip that everybody gave me was just don't prepare for the interview. But what I'm going to give to everybody is prepare for the interview, but don't prepare the complete answers. Just don't mug up the answers. Just write down pointers. I'll just try to give an example. And suppose if there's a question like, why are you choosing this university? Just note down pointers saying good curriculum, flexible courses, many different tracks. I can complete the course in 1.5 to 2 years. Just note down these pointers because it would really help you. When the viewer is asking you a question, it would help you not to be blank in front of them. Because for the very first question, with that level of nervousness, everybody goes blank. So it's better you at least prepare little for the interview. And the second thing which I want to say is have a practice with your family members or your friends, just like a casual talk, so that you'll get to know, okay, I'm going to answer in this way for this question and in this way for the other question. So the main tip is just be consistent with all your answers, because I observed that the VO asked me a similar question in the beginning and she asked me a similar question at the end. Just try to be consistent with your answers throughout the interview. Try to maintain proper eye contact, be casual, and also try to portray that you're really interested to study in United States and it is your dream to be there. So in the entire interview, showcase your interest so that the VO understands that it is worth for him or her to grant you with the visa. These are like few tips which I felt will be helpful, and I hope that they'll be helpful for all the students, all the international students who are planning to come to United States.
So along with these amazing tips that Sravya is sharing, I want to give you guys a great resource called Argo. Argo Visa is a coaching company like no other in the world, and all 100% of their coaches are all former ex-US visa officers. They've served all over the world, conducted hundreds, thousands, millions of visa interviews, and they are the experts. They're a premium coaching service to provide you guys expert coaching, whether you're preparing or if you've got a rejection. They can help you understand why you got rejected and then plan better for your next interview. So I highly recommend Argo. They are a Chai Coaching approved service and resource for you guys. So I'd love for you guys to check out Argo if you want some extra special visa coaching prep to get that approval, just like Sravya got. Yeah, I totally agree. Those are great tips, being confident and casual, having normal conversation, those soft skills like smooth speech, eye contact, enthusiasm are really important. If you're nervous or you're doubting yourself, that can definitely hurt you. And yeah, also not having the memorized answers, but just having the bullet points, the key points you want to communicate in just a few short sentences is really important. So yeah, I think those tips are great, and you did well and got it. So congratulations. I think it's going to help other people as well. So friends, be sure to give a big like and thumbs up to say thanks to Sravya, and also check out Argo. We got a link for Argo Visa Coaching, a great service that's going to help you guys prepare for your visa interviews, one-on-one coaching with all ex-visa officers for you guys to ace that interview. Check out their services and the discount code that we can offer you guys. Connect with us online on social media. Be subscribed to the Chai Coaching newsletter. We want to help you guys thrive and succeed in your cross-cultural journeys, especially to come study abroad here in America. We'll see you guys next time at Chai Coaching. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.